The next one we're going to talk about here was the one that we just discussed early this morning today when we got the safety Korea images, and now we have the full photo shoot, and everything I wanted to know was finally revealed through these amazing IGN photos. Again, IGN.com is probably the best place for the gallery of the photo shoot of this stuff. It looks amazing. My segment doesn't do it justice. I'll link in the description below and in the comments their full photo shoot of all their stuff that's been revealed today. Amazing. So let's talk about the man himself, the money saver for many of us. Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom Voyager class Dinobot. According to Hasbro here, he's going to stand 7 inches tall, converts into his classic Beast Wars Raptor mode in 28 steps, and the Raptor mode will feature posable claws and a posable jaw, and also his tail becomes his weapon, his cyber weapon, which they even kept the old name, and his sword for a retail of $29.99 MSRP. Oh man. Okay, so first up, let's talk about that height. So 7 inches, obviously considerably less in size than his Masterpiece counterpart, but still a pretty good size for that toy. Standard Voyagers are usually between the 7 and 8 inches anyway, so works out really well. Let's go straight to that Raptor mode, which is what I wanted to discuss more than anything since the last segment that we talked about it. And I wanted to see essentially what a Voyager budget could do to pack in all of that for the Raptor mode that the infinite budget of a Masterpiece is. Reminder, like Masterpiece Dinobot, Beast Wars Dinobot, because of the unlimited budget that it had, and as a result the high price point that the toy was, peaking as high as almost $300 USD back in the day. This is definitely not Masterpiece Dinobot, but it does what it can within those limitations, and I like what I see that they work with. Obviously, the Dino mode is not 100% perfect. I was worried about those legs because the original Dinobot toy back in 1995-96 couldn't go anywhere with those legs. There wasn't much you could do. When you look at the Universe 1.0 Henkei version, kind of the same thing. Those legs don't really have much places to go. The Masterpiece was able to pull it off, but when you have so many parts, so many panels to fold and twist and turn, they were able to do it and hide it properly. So obviously we have a bit of a color discrepancy because of the molded ball joints that use for the hips of his legs that kind of are very noticeable there. But aside from that, if those molded ball joints, and they're probably polyurethane, which is unpaintable plastic anyways, but if they were to be molded, let's say in a darker brown, I think it would have worked better for the overall aesthetic of the Raptor mode. Again, articulated head on the Raptor mode, which is a nice surprise. Again, unnecessary. All of these alt modes in Beast Wars' past have been posable like footballs. All the updated ones, whenever they did a universe version or anything, were still pretty non-posable. This one didn't have to have it, but it has an articulated Raptor head, an opening and closing jaw, which is really cool. And, of course, the posable legs and arms and everything. It looks like there's even little ball joints on the wrists of his dino arms, his dino hands, excuse me. But we'll see more when that comes, when everything is in hand and we could all really mess with these figures. But he looks pretty good. Again, the limitations that a Voyager could give us, I'm very impressed with how it turned out. I know that if we would have never got the Masterpiece toy, we would have been losing our minds looking at how well they pulled this off here compared to what we got last time when we had the Henkei repaint / re-release, also known as the Universe 1.0 version, which really was hit or miss. Really was hit or miss. It was a compromise more than anything aesthetically back then. Let's get into that robot mode. Man. So first let's talk about weapons. So he still has his, they call it the Cyber / rotor blade, or his choppa face, or whatever you want to call it, his rotor weapon. One negative, they didn't paint the inside of the chopper blade. It's molded all in one color. and the inside is just the molded plastic there. They couldn't put just a little bit of silver on the inside, would have been nice, but I mean, it is what it is. I guess the budget, again, there's only so much you could use with the paint deco budget. This could be just the photography or anything. The sword is more of a purpley as opposed to a silver. This also kind of harkens to the Masterpiece toy, where the Masterpiece toy kind of also had a middle in between where it was kind of silvery chrome, but it had a little bit of a purplish tinge to it. Again, it might be just a photography here, but it's very purple in the photography, and on the box art itself, it's silver. So we'll probably have to see in person what the final product is. Again, a lot of times these photos and stuff, they could be early samples of the figure, it could be early shots of it, and again, photography, lighting could lead to different kind of results when you have a chrome figure. Again, if this is, let's say this is a chrome silver, could be the lighting that's just reflecting off of it. We'll see ultimately in the end. It has it's not noticeable, but it has a peg on the side of the hilt of the weapon so that it could peg into his hands. Some people have been commenting that he has absolutely massive hands, but I felt Dinobot always had really massive hands, whether it be in the show. I'm always reminded of the episode Equal Measure where he does like a fist bump with Pterosaur, and you just see how massive his hands are compared to everyone else. Looks really good. I like it a lot. It does a really good job. The posing looks incredible. Looks like he has a pose where it's almost like he's supposed to be holding two golden discs, which are just going to look great when that happens. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of Shape Waves guys that are going to be making nice little golden discs that he could be holding in his little peg holes in his hands. Man, looks nice. Looks really, really nice. Again, going into just the paint deco and the articulation. Articulation is incredible. Incredible articulation, hips and knees and ankles, everything going on there. Paint applications, they add the paint where it matters. Obviously, there's some areas that are unpaintable plastic, like his shoulders and his hips, so that can't be helped. That's the polyurethane plastic. I like that they painted in his rib cage area with the light blue to match that of the character model. I'm turning my head to look even at the Masterpiece to make sure that everything was kind of like lined up there. It looks great. They really packed it in. And the faux chest. The faux chest they did a very good job at doing what the Masterpiece had a very different way of approaching how they're going to do the faux chest with the transformation. So they worked in his dino head into the chest with folding pieces that come from what I could see, it comes from the side of the raptor mode on his hips of his legs, and they come up to give the faux chest with the two dino eyes on the side to create the faux, like as if his dino head flattened out across his chest like in the show, because it was very organic. So I really like what's going on here. This is a incredible release and a absolutely great alternative to people who could have not in any way, shape, or form imagined spending $300 on a Transformer toy that was his Masterpiece release. So this is spectacular. I'm happy that so many people are going to get a incredible version of easily one of the best characters in Beast Wars. And man, this is really good. The head sculpt is dead on. That head sculpt looks like they took the Masterpiece head sculpt or the mainframe show model more correctly and just slapped it on there. Like this is great. This is super amazing. I don't know what more I could say. We got one more left to cover, but this is great. Let me know what you think. Dinobot is here. Amazing. Let the battle be joined.